In the last episode, Ushio and Tora save Kagari and Raushan and are now living with them. The fifth episode starts with a commotion in the temple where the seniors are angry with their disciples as they failed in their mission to bring the beast spear. The head priest Nigeria enters the room and he knows that something is wrong and they've made some mistakes in his absence. He's angry with them as they were meant to protect the beast spear and nurture the chosen one, but they failed at both. It is their duty and they've been trained as possible successors of the yokai hunter. Now, Oyakun also knows about it and she's angry as the scene fades into a flashback. Oyakun says that the beast spear selects its wielder and Ushio is the chosen one. She adds that they cannot interfere in the matters of the beast spear. Ushio is the chosen one and she also talks about one of the Yokam who faced Hakumen for generations. Nigeria orders his disciples to keep an eye on Ushio. He can be the possible inheritor of the beast spear and they want to make sure that nothing goes wrong. Meanwhile, Tora and Ushio are at a hot spring for faster healing, which was recommended by Kagari. Ushio feels like there's someone there and so he goes to check and they realize they were alone. But just then they notice a beautiful girl, Saya, in the spring. Saya also sees them, which makes her shy. Embarrassed, she runs away while Ushio says sorry. Tora says that the girl is not normal. Saya is seen going into her house where her father is very angry as she was late and her parents don't allow her to go out. Taki is the eldest of the house and he does not like his daughter going out for too long. Saya and her father and her grandmother come along inside a room with her. There's a barrier there and the grandmother wants Saya to console the household god. Saya enters the room as it is dark and that is where Saya panics as Omomori knows where she'd been, and then we're introduced to Omomori and she's been imprisoned there for a long time. She wasn't allowed to go out. Omori can sniff the monster and humans from her body. Saya apologizes, but Omomori thinks that they'll help them leave this place. The next day, Ushio sees Saya again, but she's about to get hit by a car. Ushio manages to save her while the shopkeeper tells him that she's from a wealthy family and their family, the Taketori household, owns much of the land in the area. The shopkeeper gives him the address to her house to take her there. Ushio carries her to her house. Saya says that she feels weak sometimes and Ushio begins apologizing for yesterday. Saya says that she can walk now. Surprisingly, Saya can see Tora as well. It is revealed that Saya is one of the bloodline of the white-haired ones. She can hear the world of the Ayakashi and hear their voices. Ushio carries Saya and escorts her to her house. The man of the Taketori household had sealed Omomori for prosperity. Omomori was captured and kept with a sealed barrier to stop her from leaving the house, as she was a god who brought success and wealth to the Taketori household, but the magic says that if Omomori leaves the house then everything will be lost. Ushio and Saya are in the living room together when Saya wants to talk to Ushio but is interfered by Take. Take hates the fact that she faints and her grandmother also says, "Do you want to die young just like your mother?" The grandmother also says that she's causing so much problems in the house. Take thinks that Saya faints randomly and people bringing her home is bad for his reputation, and so he's very angry. Ushio is angry, but Take, being the proud man he is, asks him to leave with the money he gave as compensation. But Ushio did not do it for money, and so it makes him very angry when Take says, "You should have just taken your money and left." This angers Ushio, but Saya wants to talk to Ushio. Saya says that she wants to talk to Ushio in private for about half an hour, and so he agrees and leaves, but Take noticed the beast spear on his way out. Ushio asks what it is that you want, and Saya talks about her mother who was used as a tool to protect the household's fortune, and she was meant to do the same. Understand that their source of wealth is Saya and Omomori. The household is trapped a god and Saya has to console her. Tora recognizes the barrier as one of the most powerful ones, and even Omomori knows about Tora. Saya talks about her being a medium for humans and yokais and they help them get along with humans, but when her mother died, the reality was very different, as that is when she realized that their entire existence was only to maintain and safeguard the family's wealth. Even her mother was a tool to project the household's fortune. The Taketori family were a god in their home for wealth. Tora sympathizes as he was once trapped as well. Omomori says that she has been there a long time and wants to leave. Asking Ushio to break the barrier, Take knows that it was he who is destined to free Omomori. Tora warns about the shockwave that will be created upon impact and everything will be destroyed. Saya opposes this and tries to stop them. Omomori has been there for 2 years watching all of her souls die, and she cannot do this anymore. Just then, Ushio is attacked by Take as he cannot lose his source of fortune. They begin fighting as Saya begs Omomori to stay as the barrier can kill her. Ushio comes to attack the barrier but Saya stops him, and then Take's men attack Ushio. Tora defends Ushio and then gets inside the barrier to save Omomori, but Saya does not move and so Ushio is helpless. Saya remembers her mother and knows that is what Omomori wants, and so she says, The family is prospered enough and moves out the way. Ushio slams the barrier, causing a huge power wave, but Tora and Ushio manage to save everyone while Omamori happily flies away. And she knows exactly where to go. Saya's family is very sad looking at this, but it had to happen. The scene is shifted to Nakamura and she is dreaming of Ushio. Inoue's father has brought a mirror, a Chinese antique. The mirror vibrates, shocking her. On her way to school with Nakamura, she talks about the mirror. Nakamura is missing Ushio a lot. While they talk about their childhood memories, Inoue and Nakamura plan to drop by Ushio's place, and there Ushio's father tells them that he went to a relative to help them with a favor. Nakamura says that she's not angry, but it's visible on her face. It seems like Nakamura really likes Ushio even though they fight a lot. On the other hand, Ushio and Tora were staying at Kagari's place and having dinner. Reishan wants them to stay, but Ushio has to go to Hokkaido. In the next scene, we see Ushio by the pool where he gets a vision of Nakamura on the water. Ushio asks everyone about it, but no one knows, and so Reishan says it must be a cave, and when Reishan calls him out and he sees the beast spears, runs away. But Ushio is not there to kill him, but regardless, he runs away. Tora manages to grab him and he gets ready to answer all of Ushio's questions. Ushio asks for the meaning of the vision. Just then, Nakamura and Inoue are together looking at the mirror. Inoue notices the vibration again, and this time it's clear that there's a demon in the mirror, and it wants to take them into his world. Inoue and Nakamura talk about Ushio and how he saved Inoue from a dog who stole their summer project and fought with the dog. In the flashback, it is seen that the dog steals the project from Nakamura and runs away. Ushio chases him, and even though it seems like he doesn't care, he follows the dog, and when Nakamura reaches the spot, the dog wants to attack her, but Ushio saves her as the dog runs away. As they're talking, the mirror begins to shake, and from it comes the demon. Inoue pushes away Nakamura to save her from the demon, but the demon holds Inoue and takes her instead. The mirror expert talks to Ushio and has agreed to help him. Long ago, a woman cheated on her husband, and so he created this demon. Ushio wants to save Inoue, but the only way to do that is to go into the mirror dimension to defeat him. The mirror expert warns that his power can only be lost as long as the water boils, and they have to return before that happens, or else they might get stuck in the mirror dimension forever. Tora and Ushio go inside the mirror, ending up in Inoue's room. Ushio asks Nakamura to put the mirror down, but she does not recognize him at all. They enter inside the mirror dimension together to save their Inoue. Nakamura feels like she knows Tora, but she has never seen the yokai hunter before. They find the demon and Inoue, and the demon had completely made her naked. The mirror demon transforms and attacks them, but Tora easily deflects them. Then Ushio attacks the demon with all of his power, defeating him. They return from the mirror dimension. Nakamura knows Ushio's identity. Ushio says that he'll return soon and leaves with Tora. Thank you so much for watching.